when I went in to vote, none of the precinct workers or the workers knew how to work the accessible machines because they were never trained on them. So, of course, my outreach kicked in, and I reached out to the voters registrar's office and said, hey, who I was, and I called and I said, I had this issue. Can I please come in and talk to you guys? And they were more than receptive to come in and let me talk to them, and said, this is, what I ran into, the problems and stuff. And I said, I would love to come and talk to all the volunteers in our county and the other counties and city. And they let me. For the last 4 years, I just talked about being able to vote independently, how to, guide a blind person or asking for that blind person what they're needing, and not just assume, what we need and things like that, because I just felt it was so important for me to be able to sit down at a machine and be able to put my ballot in and vote. And I did it using, voice over technology and stuff like that. And I went and I trained with the volunteers. I trained with the head of the voters registrar's office, so we can make things happen. And to change things, it takes work. It takes time. Yes, you can yell and kick and scream all you want on the floor, but nothing's going to happen unless you really put the work and effort. And sometimes it may not work the first time, but you have to just continue to, we need to advocate for ourselves and the things that we're needing. I know also other issues regarding shopping. There's so many apps out there now that people are, where you can get your groceries now delivered to your home. So you don't have to go out there in that COVID virus, or maybe ask somebody in your community or your church or your family to say, hey, could you help me? I want to get some groceries and stuff like that. So I always say there's always one way, one way more than the skin a cat. So you can definitely think of different things and things that are going to work for you. Just reach out to somebody and just let them know, you're having this problem. I actually just signed up for the different apps like Grubhub and Uber Eats and Instacart, all these different things that we have available that you can just shop right from your home and have it delivered to you. Although I haven't tried it, but I hear a lot of people out there, love the service. No matter, if you're blind or not, it's just the convenience of having that service there. Because I know back in the day, what would we have done? We would have actually had to go out there, and I do shop. I go out to the public, but I make sure that, I do the correct precautions that they're stating out there. And, you have to make sure that, you keep yourself safe, you keep everybody else safe. And so there's a lot of things that are available at the tip of our fingers that we can utilize, and people that we can be friends with, mentors that will help you get you there. Because I'm doing that every day. People are calling me, people are texting, emailing, however you communicate by phone or WhatsApp. Talk to somebody, because you may think you're the only one that's ever going through that problem or issue. A lot of us have gone through it, and we found different ways of skills and techniques to get through those times that we're dealing with. Because at the beginning, I remember not knowing a lot of things, and I joined some groups on Facebook, and I just started asking questions about, how do you do this? Or is this, a silly question? Or, things like that. I do, my passion, and the one thing that I like to do that I get enjoyment out of is cooking. I like to cook my own meals, and people all say, oh my gosh, how do you do it being blind? And it's like, well, I just do it because I want to eat. So I look at different recipes on YouTube. I always like trying different new things. I always try to put myself and challenge myself to put myself out of the comfort zone. There's a lot of things that I still need to work on that kind of put me out of the comfort zone. But once you do it, and you put yourself through it, you don't find it as hard or daunting as you may seem. A lot of it, I think, comes from fear of the unknown, fear of failing, fear of whatever you may be feeling. But there's nothing wrong with failing, because that's where we also learn. Because I've failed plenty of times, and I can admit it and be okay with it and just move on from it and not let that, that fear hold on to me as far as me living my life every day. I thought at the beginning of my blindness that, I didn't think it was the end of my world, but I was just like, I think I just told myself, I had the attitude, what do I do next? How do I get beyond this blind thing? Because to me, it was just one of the characteristics of who I was. And it was a new characteristic that I had to take on as a blind person, as a new thing. So a lot of other things can happen to us during our lifetime as we go down the road. As we get older, or things happen in our lives, we just have to hopefully, do the best that we can do to get through it and to solve the problems and to reach out to whatever you have to do to kind of give yourself balance. That's just me personally, is what I'm talking about. But if I could share it and let people know that, it's going to be okay, that, that we get through these things, and we have, and you're allowed to have your feelings. We are allowed to have our feelings and get through those emotions and all the things, the crazy things. Because sometimes when I even get out and I'm walking about orientation and mobility, even though I've been blind for 10, 11 years, when I get out there, I fear sometimes, honestly, when I get out there, like, I know I can do it. I don't do it as fast as I used to do it, because I'm using so many different things that were taught to me, as far as listening to the traffic patterns, and like, how do I cross the street, or, what, am I going through a driveway, or, the sounds change. How do I do all these things? So, because you're thinking like so many things in your mind, and I've done it, and I just take a deep breath and I get through it. And then when it's all said and done, I'm kind of like, okay, that wasn't as bad as I thought. But I think it's really a lot of our mindset and what we put our minds to. Because I think, like, I always think of it this way. If I'm somewhere and I don't want to have to wait for somebody to come get me, or to get me a drink, or to go to the bathroom or whatever, I'm like, well, I guess I gotta, I figured I gotta go do this, because I'm not gonna wait, for somebody especially if you have to go to the restroom, or you're really thirsty, or, whatever it may be, to get where you need to go, or to be where you need to be, and just go out there and do it. And like I said, I go out and sometimes I ask people that are around, can you tell me, am I going the right direction, or am I not? And I've had a lot of people grab me, and it throws me off surprise. And I said, I don't yell at them. I said, may I grab your arm, or, just be nice, because I know those people are trying to be as helpful as they can be. And if they don't understand it, then, in that moment, we could teach them something, because trust me, it's not going to go away where we're expecting people to understand, especially the sighted world. Some people, just won't get it, or they will get it. And if they do get it, then I had to teach people when I was going to my church. They had large print for people, and they came up to me and said, "Hey, what ways can we be better at helping you? Since you don't have sight and stuff." And then they worked some things out where it was accessible. I was able to get the information that I needed.
Sure.
You
Really excellent, outstanding, great. Yeah, I mean, you've made all good points, and you're 100% right. You have about 4 minutes. What are some takeaway points, some closing arguments that you want to make, basically?
Well, just live your life. Live it to the best that you can be, and enjoy life. And blindness is not what holds us back. That's for sure. It definitely hasn't held me back. I still do things that I want to do, and just continue to, go out of your safe zone, be confident, be who you're meant to be in this world. It's a big world. We can't do everything, but as long as you feel your accomplishments, where you want to be, what you want to do in life, takes you. And basically, I think that's all that is asked of us, is just to, do what you want to do, and, do it the way you want.
Definitely. Really good. So once we in the remaining time, where have you traveled to overseas?
I actually have never been overseas. I was adopted, another thing about me, by an American family when they were in Thailand. So I've
was
been.
my brother was actually adopted too. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I came into a family, so they already had 3 kids of their own, and so we came back here. I came here in 1972, and so I've traveled a lot in the U.S. So I've been to California, I've been to Nevada, I've been to Colorado, I've been to Cincinnati, Florida, Louisiana. I mean, I've been in all the states, but one of the things that I do, which is on my bucket list, is to hopefully go back to Thailand, my homeland, to go visit the market and take a tour, guided tour, and stay there for about a month and just enjoy my history of what I've lost. And then also another bucket thing is to also travel to 50 states and go see all the different states. I did, I drove across country when I had the opportunity to do so. So basically, you can go do these things. I know people who have traveled the world, and it didn't stop them from going. They just, went out and experienced so many different things. And that's definitely, life is out there to experience. So go experience it. That's what I say.
It's really good. Yeah, I've traveled all over Europe, and French is my second language, so I've been to France 3 times. But
Okay.
so good, so good. Do you speak Thai?
No, unfortunately, I don't anymore. My parents tried to keep me talking to the maids and stuff, and I did talk for a couple of years, believe it or not, from what my mother was saying, because I guess I was getting confused with the Thai language and the English language. And my mom, she told me a story real quick. We were in a car, and I was, back in the day, didn't have the seat belts in the back, but I was standing in the back seat, and I said a word, and that was my first, I can't remember the darn word, but she said something about the police car, and she said some word, and I repeated it, and that was like my first English word. And it wasn't a good word, I don't think. From what I recall.
Or from what this story, that's hilarious.
But yeah, so
Hilarious story. Well, you've been listening. You've been listening to Aaron's Opinion, the podcast for blind people, where we talk about issues in the blindness community. Well, thank you, Chris Walker.
Well, thank you, Aaron. I really appreciate reaching out to me and giving me this platform.
My pleasure. And as I like to say, have a good day today and a great